So, hello everyone, learning Python programming series. Today we see the part 5, numbers and string data type. So we focus on built-in number data types and mathematical functions in numbers data type. So Python support various built-in numeric data types, especially in the number category such as integer, float, complex number, decimal, and fraction numbers. So let me see this program and see the output of this one. So here we go to the collapse and pasted the code at here, and then after run it. So I equals to 5, print I and type of I. It indicates that the value of I and what is their type, that is the integer type. So it shows that yes, I is the value of the 5 and their type is similar as the float value. We consider this value. Complex number is the iota number, that is also there, and decimal number. Now for the decimal we use the decimal inbuilt function. That's why we need to define decimal, import the decimal from the decimal class. So here we need to call the inbuilt classes and the libraries for identify that what is the meaning of this function. Now we go to the fraction. So for the fraction purpose, we also need to call from the fractions import fraction. So these are the inbuilt libraries, functions and the classes. So here we call this function from this one class. Now they print the value. Yes, this is the 1/3 fraction. 1 comma 3 indicate the 1/3 fraction value, and it is the what is the type of that one? This is the fraction type, so it indicates that. Now we come to the another, which is a very powerful tool, that Python has various inbuilt maths models, so we can directly use these math models without their programming and other things. So here we see one by one this maths model. So trigonometric point of view, so they support the sine, cos, tan, asine, cos, and a tan. So we can check that yes whether we are working or not. So we do copy and paste and run this one. So here we can see that the one first thing is that import maths. That means we need to call the maths library so that all the maths functions working perfectly. If you are not calling this one, then definitely they have some error, because this is the inbuilt maths function. So maths.sine, that means whatever the math library is there, where we call the maths and the sine function sort of things. Pi is the fixed value in this maths library. So math.pi, which display the pi value. We can check that what is the pi value. Print math.pi and check that what this is the value of the pi. So it indicates 3.14. So this is the value of the pi, and we comes to the I. Now when you want to print the sine value, you just use the math.sine of that one value, then cos value, then tan value, asine, cos, tan. So here we can now this is the asine. That's where we need to go to, in place of angle we can go to the value, so that we can find out the angles. Now we come to the logical and exponential function in Python programming. So Python also have various logical and exponential function, inbuilt logical and exponential function. All these are the part of the math library. So assume that I is a variable which assign the value 5. Now we want to find out the log 5 value. So this is the natural log. So here because this is the log function is from the math library, so that's why we use the math.log, and whatever the value is that we want to find out the value of this one. So now we come to the power and square root function. So the Python supports a various power and the square root functions, and these functions are very useful for the programming. When we do the programming, we can directly call these functions. So assume that the integer I equals to 4 and a variable integer j equals to 3. If you use the power, then 4 raised to power 3 is the 64, and the print value. So here what I have done, the k is the another variable. They use the I raised to power j. This is the operator I raised to power j. So 4 raised to power 3, that is the 64. Now we use the maths power. So they also have the same thing, that whatever is there. So we find out the same result. Now we can use square root. So how we can use this operation for the square root? So you can check that these two things. So if I want to use the direct function power, they give the same result at I raised to power. The same thing is the square root. If you use the I raised to power square root, then they give the I is the 4, then square root value is the 2. Now in place of 1 by 2 we can also use the sqrt. So sqrt function, math function, they are directly give the value of this one. So this is that without math function that you can do how perform that operation, and here we use the math library functions for square root or for power purpose, all these things. So this is the way that how these libraries or how these functions are working in this case. Now we come to the rounding function. So sometime what we need round values, if very long integer values, some dots are there, so but we are not interested to in that case. So in that case we need to use the rounding function. So this is the most common way to root the numbers in Python, and Python also support the floor and ceil, which gives the number down to the nearest integer and number up to the nearest integer. So it indicates the floor means down, ceil means upper number. So we can take this example and see the output. So here once again you need to import the maths library. Assume that the I is a float value 5.67 and j is the round off of this I value. So just see that what is the value of the, here we print the j and j is the 6, because 5.6 which is greater than the 5.5. If I am saying that the 5.4, assume that if I am writing this value 5.4 in place of 5.6. So now that is less than 5.5, so it will give the 5 values. So this is the round off values. Now round off 1, 3, that means up to the 3 digits. So if I have the long digit after that, then it indicates that up to the 2 decimal, up to the 2 decimal, up to the 3 decimals are there. So here we can say up to the 3 decimal values, up to the 3 decimal values you can find out. Now here the floor value, that means the down value. So 5.4 floor is the 5 and 5.4 ceil is the 6. So as their name suggests that floor is the down and the ceil is the top. So they give the upper value and this gives the down value. So here we can automatically find out with the help of these inbuilt functions of Python programming. So up to this one we have seen the numbers data type in the Python programming. Now we go the strings data type. String is a very powerful tool in the Python programming, and here various way to collect the values, various way to define the strings or initialize the values of that one. So we can use the either single quote or double quote for define the strings or for writing the string in the Python programming. And if the string size is very big, if you want to break this string, you need to use the thrice quote or like this one, thrice quoting is there. So quote is the 3 times quote. If you are using, you can break the string and without any error this program is working perfectly. So we already seen this in our previous talk, that how to define the strings in Python programming. So here assume that I just write the message one, hello world. So here we use the single quote, here we use the double quote, but answer is the same. But if we want to break the line, then in that case we need to use the 3 quote, otherwise it shows some error. So we can check that. This is because here we have the 3 quotes, so definitely there is no error. Results comes into the picture. If I am using the 2 quote but the line break is there, definitely it will show some errors. This is the error. So now we talk about how to access the characters in the string. Whatever the string is there, we need to access the characters so that we can use in the rest of the program. So here we can see that okay, this is the first string, this is the second string. If I want to access the first character, which is the index number 0, because Python start the indexing from the 0. Of course, in the string this is the first character. So name is the string number 1 and 0 is their first character. So here they print the h value, because we go to the 0 with the h. So here the h comes into the picture. They also support the rotation, that means -1 indicates that okay, they are going, and 0 to this one means the last character of your string, which is the t, because this is starting from the 0, then -1, -2, -3, -1. So -1 means t, -2 means a. So assume that if I want to check that what is the value of -2, which is the a, because that is the rotation clockwise. So this is the a value and this one value comes into the picture. Now this substring. So Python string operation, they also support the substring. 3 to 6 indicate that the value from 3 to 6, the 0th value, 1, 2, 3. So they start from the 3, 4, 5. These 3 values comes into the picture. So this is the 3 to 6, 3 to 6. So space is also considered as a character or the symbol in that Python programming language. And this is the concatenation. So Python also support concatenate to two strings. So this is the first string. If you want to concatenate two strings, that means you need to use the plus sign. You want to give some space in between them, then plus sign, and the last one string. So here we can say the first one is the Hari Prabhat and last one is the Prabhat. So Gupta. So how we can merge these two? This is the first, this is the last. Use the plus, and this is for space. If I not use this space purpose, then what's happened that assume that I'm doing like this one. So just see that and find out there is no space in between the name, because we remove the space from this one, and like this one, then space at it here. So this space comes into the picture because of this space. Now the another way is that you can transmit the string to string. So we can do name equals to name plus this one. We can also do the same thing with the help of this one. So these two things are the absolutely same. What we are doing here, name plus this string, or here now the name equals to name plus this. So in future, if we are using the name, we can write like this one, because we upgrade the name itself. So name equals to name plus this one. So we can also write this one, name equals to name plus this space plus this one. So both things are the same. They also give the value of the same name, because here they updated the name. I just commented it. I'm comment it here. Now you can check that. Yes, this is the same as that one, whatever the previous. Now an interesting thing is that if you use this operation, now name string is itself is the Hari Prabhat space Gupta, and if I am using again the last name list in this previous one, then two times comes into the picture. Why? Because they automatically completed updated the name string as this one. Now you additionally you add once again this one string, so that's where this type of outcome comes into the picture. Now we will move to the building string methods available for the multiplication of the string. So it is very interesting, all these operations. We can see one by one and see that what were the built-in operations. So once again we come to the shape. This is our string number 1, this is the string number 2. If you want to change all the characters into the upper character, then you directly use the upper name dot upper. Whatever the name string is there, they automatically convert into the upper letter. They automatically convert into the lower letter. So upper letter, all these characters are in upper letter, so convert automatically in upper. This is convert, all these are in the lower. Then replace. So here replace that means here the replace method will do. They replace this string with a new one string. So whatever you will write here, so name dot replace, in the name string, whatever this string is there, they replace with the name. And here, so now this is the new one, name dot replace, so they replace Prabhat with the name. So this is the new outcome. Now we can go to the name string with the find operation. So when you write the find, they find out the Prabhat, so at the position number 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5th number. So they say that okay, this is the position number 5. And they can also support the split. That means they split the string into the two substring with the position at the P. So here this is the output, then they split. That means you can see that there is no P is here, so they remove the P and split in this string. Assume that once, because they split, then assume that this is my name string again, and capitalization, that means we can write here the capital. So capital the first letter only. Here that is the upper cap or all these things, but here you can see that H is the small letter. Once you perform this capitalization operation, the first H comes into the picture. So if you want to convert only the first H, then you can use like this one. And this is same as the split at the P. Here we can also again to split, we can find out this type of the results. So these are some operations that the Python programming by default they support in the string data type. So we stop it here, and in the next part 6 we discuss about the list, tuple and dictionary data